For years, Eustace Conway has been one of the most fascinating figures on the History Channel's MountainMen. Viewers from all around the world have watched him live deep in the woods of North Carolina, surviving the way people did centuries ago without electricity, phones, or modern comforts. To many, Eustace represents freedom and a way of life that has almost disappeared. But recently, rumors began to spread online about him, that he had disappeared, that his land had been shut down, or even that he was sick and struggling to live the same life he once proudly showed on TV. Fans started asking, what really happened to Eustace Conway? Now, at 61 years old, Eustace has finally addressed these rumors, giving everyone a rare look into his life, his struggles, and the truth behind the stories that have surrounded him for years. His response not only silenced the false claims, but also reminded the world why he became such an inspiration in the first place. Eustace Conway's connection to nature began when he was just a boy. Born in 1961 in Columbia, South Carolina, he was different from other kids his age. While most children spent their time playing video games or watching TV, Eustace was busy learning about trees, animals, and survival. His parents, especially his mother, encouraged his curiosity about the natural world. At only 17, he made a life-changing decision. He left home to live in a simple teepee deep in the woods. There, he learned how to hunt, gather food, build shelter, and survive completely on his own. For most people, such a choice would sound impossible or even crazy. But for Eustace, it was the beginning of the life he had always wanted. He wanted to prove that humans could still live in harmony with nature, just as our ancestors once did. Those early years shaped him into the strong, thoughtful man we would later see on television. As Eustace grew older, his dream became even bigger. He didn't just want to live in nature, he wanted to teach others how to do it too. So, in the late 1980s, he founded Turtle Island Preserve, a 1,000-acre piece of land in the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina. It became both his home and a living classroom. People from all walks of life came there to learn about survival skills, primitive tools, natural building, and the beauty of simple living. Eustace taught them how to start fires without matches, how to respect the forest, and how to build log cabins with their hands. Many visitors described the experience as life-changing. For Eustace, Turtle Island wasn't just a place, it was a message to the world. He wanted people to see that happiness doesn't come from money or technology, but from connection, purpose, and hard work. His lifestyle inspired documentaries, interviews, and finally, the hit show MountainMen, which introduced his life to millions of viewers. When MountainMen first aired in 2012, it quickly became one of the most popular shows on the History Channel. The series followed Eustace Conway and a few other men who lived off the grid, facing the harsh realities of nature with courage and skill. Eustace became a fan favorite almost immediately. His calm voice, deep wisdom, and hardworking attitude made him stand out. He wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. Through the show, viewers learned about his daily struggles, from chopping wood in freezing temperatures to protecting his land from storms. But they also saw the peace and happiness that came with a life lived close to nature. Many fans began to see Eustace as a symbol of strength and simplicity in a fast, stressful modern world. Yet, fame brought more attention than he ever expected, and not all of it was positive. Behind the calm scenes on camera, Eustace was facing challenges that would test his spirit in ways he'd never imagined. In 2012, everything changed for Eustace. His beloved Turtle Island Preserve was suddenly shut down by local authorities. Government inspectors claimed that many of his hand-built cabins, outdoor kitchens, and teaching facilities didn't meet modern building and safety codes. To Eustace, this felt unfair, after all. The whole purpose of his preserve was to teach natural living, not modern construction. The closure hit him hard. It threatened his mission, his reputation, and his way of life. For several months, Turtle Island was at risk of being permanently closed. Eustace fought back, attending court hearings and working with lawmakers to explain that Turtle Island wasn't a traditional camp. It was a cultural and educational place meant to preserve ancient skills. Supporters from around the country sent letters, raised funds, and spoke out in his defense. Eventually, the North Carolina legislature passed a new law that made it easier for people like Eustace to run educational facilities focused on traditional living. The victory allowed Turtle Island to reopen, but the fight left a deep mark on him. It showed how difficult it can be to live freely in a world run by modern rules. After the legal troubles, rumors began to swirl online. Some claimed Eustace had given up on Turtle Island. Others said he was ill, bankrupt, or had abandoned his lifestyle altogether. The truth, however, was far different. Eustace had simply taken a step back from the spotlight to recover and reflect. He was still living on the preserve, still teaching, still working, just more quietly. When he finally spoke about the rumors, he did so with honesty and calm. He explained that yes, life had become more challenging with age, but his spirit remained strong. He said he had never stopped believing in the values he built his life on: simplicity, hard work, and respect for the earth. His statement reminded everyone that not all rumors online are true, and that sometimes the quietest people are still living the loudest lives, just away from public view. Eustace's humble attitude only made people respect him more. Today, at 61 years old, Eustace Conway continues to live the life he chose decades ago. While age has brought its share of physical challenges, it hasn't changed his determination. He still wakes up early to tend to the land, chop wood, and teach whoever is willing to learn. However, he's also learned to accept help and to pace himself. The younger generation now assists him at Turtle Island, carrying forward his teachings and keeping his dream alive. Eustace spends more time reflecting, mentoring, and sharing stories from his life. He often says that living close to nature keeps him young in spirit, even if his body moves a little slower than before. Fans who visit him describe him as peaceful, wise, and still very much connected to the earth. His lifestyle remains proof that happiness doesn't depend on luxury, it depends on meaning and purpose. In a world full of chaos and technology, Eustace continues to remind people what really matters. Eustace Conway's story is more than just about one man's fight to live freely. It's a reminder of how modern life often pulls us away from what's truly important: nature, community, and simplicity. Through his life, he teaches that living off the land isn't about rejecting the world, but about reconnecting with it in a deeper way. He has shown that you can live with purpose, even if that means living differently from everyone else. The rumors and struggles he faced only made his message stronger. He's not a celebrity chasing fame or wealth. He's a man trying to show others that true freedom comes from within. For Eustace, success isn't about how much you own, but how well you live in harmony with the world around you. His words often remind people to slow down, breathe, and appreciate the beauty that's all around them. In a fast-changing world, Eustace Conway stands as a living example of timeless wisdom. So, what were the rumors that spread about Eustace Conway, and what's the truth? Some said he had left Turtle Island. Others whispered that he had passed away. None of it was true. When asked directly, Eustace laughed softly and said, "I'm still here, doing what I've always done." His calm response ended all speculation. The truth is, he simply stepped out of the media spotlight for a while, focusing more on teaching than on filming. MountainMen fans were relieved to know that their favorite woodsman was still out there, living the same rugged life he always had. The only thing that changed was time, and even that hasn't dimmed his spirit. Eustace's ability to face hardship, rumors, and loneliness with peace and strength is what makes him so inspiring. His life proves that when you live with honesty and purpose, you don't need fame or fortune to be remembered. Your actions speak louder than any rumor ever could. As Eustace Conway enters his 60s, his life remains a testament to courage, independence, and wisdom. He has built more than a preserve, he's built a legacy. His story is about finding peace in simplicity and strength in solitude. While many people spend their lives chasing comfort, Eustace found it in challenge. The rumors that once surrounded him have faded, replaced by respect and admiration. He continues to teach, to inspire, and to live by the same principles that guided him since he was a boy. Whether you see him on television or meet him in person, his message is clear: live with purpose. Stay close to nature, and never forget where you came from. In a world that often values speed and success, Eustace Conway's life is a quiet reminder that true happiness lies in slowing down and living with heart. At 61, he's not just surviving, he's still teaching the world how to live. When people visit Turtle Island Preserve today, they often describe it as stepping back in time. The winding dirt paths, the smell of wood smoke in the air, and the sound of birds calling from the trees make it feel like another world. There are no busy roads, no buzzing cell phones, and no artificial lights. Instead, there's the steady rhythm of nature, wind, water, fire, and earth. Every corner of the preserve carries Eustace Conway's touch. From the hand-built log cabins to the simple bridges crossing streams, everything was made using natural materials and old techniques. Each building tells a story of effort, patience, and respect for the land. Eustace often says that everything here was built with love, and it shows. The preserve has become a living example of how humans can work with nature instead of against it. Visitors don't just learn survival skills, they learn values, cooperation, patience, and gratitude for simple things. Many schools, families, and environmental groups visit Turtle Island every year. They come to learn what life was like before modern comforts took over. Some spend a weekend chopping wood and cooking over a fire. Others stay longer, helping with construction or gardening projects. Everyone leaves with a story to tell. For many, it's their first time realizing how little they truly need to be happy. Eustace's teachings aren't just about living in the wild, they're about rediscovering what it means to be human. Turtle Island is more than land. It's a living classroom of wisdom passed down through generations. Eustace often says that he doesn't live off the grid, he lives on the earth. To him, that difference matters. Off the grid makes it sound like you're hiding from something, but Eustace isn't hiding. He's living openly, naturally, and with purpose. His daily routine hasn't changed much in decades. He wakes up with the sun, tends to the animals, chops wood for the fire, and spends his days teaching or working on the land. There's no rush, no pressure, and no noise, just the steady, honest rhythm of nature. In the evenings, he often sits by the campfire, reflecting on the day and sharing stories with those who visit. He believes that people have become too disconnected from the earth that gives them life. "We've traded meaning for comfort," he once said. Those words capture his entire philosophy. To Eustace, real wealth doesn't come from owning things, it comes from experiences, relationships, and gratitude. His way of life is not easy, but it's deeply fulfilling. He finds joy in the small things: the smell of fresh rain, the sound of a crackling fire, the satisfaction of hard work. It's a lifestyle that most people have forgotten. Yet it holds the answers to many of today's modern problems: stress, unhappiness, and loneliness. Through his teachings, Eustace reminds people that the solution is simple: slow down, step outside, and reconnect with the natural world. Living the way Eustace does sounds peaceful, but it comes with great challenges. Building a life outside of modern society requires physical strength, emotional courage, and constant determination. Eustace has faced injuries, extreme weather, financial struggles, and even loneliness. The legal battle in 2012 was only one example of how difficult it can be to live freely in today's world. While others have jobs, salaries, and social security, Eustace depends entirely on the land and on the small donations or program fees from visitors. Every nail, every board, every tool at Turtle Island must be earned through effort and creativity. Despite all this, Eustace rarely complains. He sees hardship as part of life, something to be accepted, not avoided. "Nature doesn't promise comfort," he once said, "but it always provides truth." That truth, for him, is worth every